I'm here with Aaron Buchanan, the Cool Classics. So how's it going, guys?
Very good.
Yeah, really well, thank you.
So Aaron, who have you got with you tonight?
This is Kev. Kev was formerly from a band called Raven Eye, and I myself obviously came from Heaven's Basement, and I found this guy on YouTube doing a cover of a Heaven's Basement track, and called him up and was like, "Hey, dude, like, saw you did a cover. I'm struggling to find a drummer at the moment. I would really like to find a solid drummer just like you. In fact, how's about you come and join the band?"
Yeah. So which I answered, no.
No.
Because at the time I was already committed to and touring with another band. But yeah, basically, I ended up leaving that band, and
It's a pretty-
called up Aaron, and it happened.
It's a pretty epically long story how it came together. There was a
Quite
lot of, oh yeah, we will, no, yeah, oh yeah, okay. It kind of fell into place. If we had like an hour, I'd take you through it. But it's a pretty long story. But it's cool.
I'm the drummer, by the way, as well.
Yes, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say it was in Raven Eye?
That's right, yeah. Do you know?
I do, yes.
All right.
Yes, they're at Steelhouse in July.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
That makes sense.
And,
God, I played there a few
they've
years
got
ago.
their debut album out, I think.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
great.
so, I think you mentioned out there it's been 2 years since you were last on stage.
Thereabouts. It's probably between 18 months and 2 years. I tucked myself away in a studio with a good. Well, okay, let's go from the top. Gee. Let's make this a little more easy for people to digest. I ended my time with Heaven's Basement. Wanted to go in different directions musically, and that's cool. That was great. I sort of had a call with our agent at the time, and said to him, "Well, what do you think I should do?" Like, and he was just like, "Well, you've got music. You've written a lot of music for what would have been the second album. It's like, go and use it. Go and do something with it." And I was like, "Okay." So I sat on it for a few weeks, and I made a call to a friend of mine who I've been friends with for nearly 15 years now. He was like the first guy I'd ever gone and played in a band with, and it just so happens that over the course of our time, he went off and became a really, really good producer, and I went off and did a lot of touring. We didn't get to see a lot of each other, but James the producer, and I would invite him to like the Heaven's Basement after shows, and he would like invite a few stragglers along, and we'd make a point of getting everybody just as messed up as possible, because back in those days, and it's something that I will continue with really. I don't tend to drink too much on tour, or like other bits and bobs, but the end of tour, that is a whole different kettle of fish and can last anything from a day to a week. And we had a few of those moments where I got into a bit of trouble here and there, but that's all part of the fun, right? That's rock and roll.
That's right.
So I called him up, asked him would he like to do the record. I said to him, like, I don't have any money, I've got nothing left. And he was like, "Dude, don't worry about it, we're going to do it together. I've wanted to do a record with you for a very, very long time." And I was like, "You are a quality friend." So that was the beginning, and that moment there to me was like, okay, I've got a guy that believes enough in me, and I believed in his production skills. I was like, I want to make sure that this whole circle of people that comes together is exactly like that. And it just so happened that Kev kind of had, or sort of, the right personality. No, everybody does. I'm super, super happy with the way that everybody has come together. I wanted to make sure that it was as much to do with the playability as it was the personality. Because I think we've all been in bands before where maybe the personalities don't quite match up. And don't get me wrong, this band is young, but I think we've all got a pretty good vibe about it. And everybody, as far as I'm aware, is very happy.
Yeah.
I'll keep those good vibes, those positive vibes.
And of course you've got your sister with you.
Indeed.
Guitar, yeah?
Laurie and I have never ever played in a band before. In fact, when we were younger, we made a pact that we never would, because
Right.
especially after like the whole White Stripes thing, it was a bit cliche,
Yeah.
and it's been done like, maybe not to the. Some people have done it fantastically, and some people have done it awfully, and we didn't want to really come put under the spotlight with
Yeah.
that. But she's too good. I couldn't not bring her out on the road. She's got a fantastic rig. She's a fantastic guitarist, a great personality, and
Great singer.
a great singer as well. One of the benefits of having a girl in the band, or is that she's got a much higher register than us guys.
Yeah.
So all those harmonies from songs that I've done in the past and songs that we've written for the Man with Stars in His Knees, which is the new album, she just slays those really nice high like searing notes, which is awesome. And it does, I think she looks the part, plays the part, and hey, hopefully hopefully we can keep it together.
It sounded well tonight.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. And it's your second night on tour.
The second ever show.
Second ever show.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
You know, we had, there was a couple of little disasters here and there, but that's fine. I expect it's going to take the band about a year to get to a point, because it did in the bands that I've done previously. It takes about a year of solid touring to get a band to sound like mighty and grand. We started at a good point. It'll take a bit of time, but we're going to get there. And it's all about those, just focusing that positive energy.
Yeah. So I saw on YouTube the video you did to celebrate what would have been Freddie's 70th birthday. Very impressive. At first thought, is that Freddie?
Oh gosh.
No, it was, and I think you purposely made it not sound like Freddie, because I think you were very, very close.
If it wouldn't have been for Freddie Mercury, I definitely would not have been a singer. And likewise, I wouldn't be a growing frontman. Like, I'm pretty young. There's still many, many things that I want to achieve and learn. Because I think to be a frontman or a showman is an art. It's not just one of those things that you just. Some people that have just got it. I mean, bloody hell, Iggy Pop is a prime example of that. That guy was just a fucking frontman. Like, no questions. I don't know, obviously, what it was like for Freddie in the very early days, but I'm a massive, massive fan of Queen, a huge fan of Freddie. And what I liked about him was his personality. He comes across as a very, very warm person, and that is the reason that guy got to play Wembley Stadium. People loved him. And, it'd been a lot of years that I'd wanted to do a celebration of his life. And in bands prior, it wasn't the right thing to do. The music wasn't right, or there wasn't people that were maybe inclined to want to do it. Whereas with this, I called up my manager, and I obviously spoke to the band. I was like, I'd really, really like to do this. Like, will you do it with me? And obviously everybody was like in agreement. We'll do this. It's going to be cool. And of course, it would have been his 70th birthday. That is such a big thing, and it's a terrible thing that he's not about anymore. I think that there was a lot of lessons that people maybe could have learned even more from him, which is great. Absolute. I'm going to go as far as to call him an idol. That guy was phenomenal.
To show my age now, I was at the Wembley concert.
Oh,
wow.
Good God.
The Magic Tour.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I
That
was
is-
in 12.
Really?
I went to the Works Tour and then the Magic Tour.
Good God.
That's probably one of the best things my dad's ever done for me, to take me there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, it's always been my idol.
Yeah.
And
Just a phenomenal
it
personality.
was nice to see somebody like yourself have him in that, hold him in such high regard, and I can see that coming out in your show.
I hope so. I hope that everybody that comes gets that warm passion. And when people come and meet us at the merch desk and stuff, I just want them to feel like it's an approachable thing. It's super important to me. As I said, I wanted to bring guys and girls as well in that have got that positive energy and push it out there for people. Let them enjoy it. Let them experience the music. Again, it'll take us a little bit of time to get that sonic and the show up to that quality standard. But we're going to do it. It's going to take just a bit of time.
So where can we find your music? 'Cause I must admit, I've struggled finding.
Well, you've struggled because there is only one song online at the
Yes,
moment.
I found
We've
that,
put a single out, and the reason that we're holding off is because we're just in talks with a couple of labels here and there about what we might potentially look into in the future. We may or may not sign. We may do a self-release. We may continue. There's obviously a few people coming out on this tour out of curiosity, but it's at the moment I think it's just on iTunes. We've got a single on the CD that's at the merch desk at the moment. There is an exclusive B-side which will not feature on the record.
Right.
I didn't think it was right for the record. It's a cool tune. It's the first song we ever did together, and it was we had great fun because on the actual album it was only four of us. It was Laurie, James Curtis Thomas, who was the producer and also the drummer, a guy called Ryan Woods, fantastic guitarist, and myself. And we all sort of like mixed and matched, like doing little bits of various instrumentation because we all sort of dabble. None of us are actually very good, but we dabble. But yeah, that was the first song that we ever put together. And yeah, it wasn't correct for the record, but it's a cool B-side. And if you like sort of like the Police and a bit of Coheed and Cambria, that's kind of the place that it went to, I think.
Sure.
That little bit of a Velvet Revolver as well. It's a little dash. So yeah.
So do you do the majority of the writing yourself, Aaron, or
This-
share it amongst you all?
This record I had written. I started writing in 2000 and, funny enough, the single I started writing in 2011, so before the Filthy Empire record came out, and finished writing it in 2014. So that says quite a lot about the place my mind was at. Like, I've never really done a song like that before, but it just, you know, when you just, sometimes you'll write something, and be like, that's cool, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm not too sure about this, I'm not too sure about that, so I'll just come back to it another time. And it was one of those songs. I came back to it 3 years later and was like, okay, cool. I've got the right chorus, I've got the right verses, and now we just need to stick a great middle eight in, and it you know, it's a pretty good song. I think there's definitely songs on the record that are going to be like, oh, okay, cool, this is their sound. But it was number one, and I did write the album, but obviously, of course, with help from my sister, Ryan Woods, James Curtis Thomas, and again with the B-side, Kev came in, and Laurie was there as well, and that was an amalgamation of personalities and influences, and you know, it was good. It was like one of the things that I would like to do on the next record. I've already got a very firm vision about where the next record's going to go, is to bring the band in, because I think it would be nice to sort of jam and just suss some vibes out.
It'd be interesting to see where the music goes now. Because the thing that I really like about this album that we're about to release is that there's a lot of variety on it. There, you know, it goes into that Queen vein, but then a couple of songs later, you're listening to Alice in Chains. The influences are there. There's a lot of light and shade to the album as well. So I'm excited to progress forward into the next stage, see where we end up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think people will be with the track listing on the record, as Kev just mentioned. It starts off quite sort of like bold, and again it peaks and troughs, and then towards the end of it you get to that sort of like 90s was like the kind of thing I was going for. I'm quite like, I grew up in like maybe the tail end of the grunge era, but I was all about those bands, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, bloody Pearl Jam. Like, you know, we've all listened to those bands in clubs and pubs. Like, maybe not so much now because music's moved on and people don't play those songs as much in like rock clubs, but those staple songs, like even down to like a bit of Alanis Morissette and like old school Chili Peppers, Foo Fighters, of course. And those are the bands that I want to make sure that we get associated with. That's important to me. Yeah. I want to make sure that we're not. I love bands that are a little bit more modern, a little bit more interesting. But I had like a. Hey, that's the voice from in me.
There's two small girls. There we go. Well, I guess we've got to get the merchandise then.
We will in a minute. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it kind of had that 90s vibe to it. So yeah, hey.
It looks like there's a bit of an after show party started, so I think we better get moving.
Always, every day of the week.
Thank you very much for your time, Aaron. Thanks, Kev.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I look forward to the album coming out.
Indeed. Thank you very much, buddy. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.